August 23rd, 2024. We're up here on our property here. We just got here, so you're finding out stuff as I find out stuff. So our camera's still here. The neighbor has been here. He's got a new no trespassing sign on a tree that when I have this property surveyed, he's going to find out that's my tree, and all that stuff's going to go right there. And then of course he came here, and this is on my tree too, dummy. He put this on my tree, and I'm going to be removing this stuff. Okay, you don't put stuff on my trees. All right. So this is the property line that I put in years ago because the property mark is missing. We know why, and no one. I don't know if he's disputing this side or not. But he put a sign in my yard again. He took out the fly stake again and stole it. More juvenile activity from Mr. Cooney. My tent looks all right, but I like to point out that once again, Mr. Cooney comes up here and does this stuff, and he still does not maintain his property. Okay, let me point out that this is a guy that's pretending to maintain my property, and here's the truth of the situation. As I've already said, this is the third year that I've said this. He doesn't maintain his own stuff. As you can clearly see, you have locust trees. You have a 4-foot locust tree coming up in the middle of his property because Mr. Cooney hasn't cut his grass in like 6 weeks now. But I don't care. It's none of my business, right? It's none of my business. I don't care what he does. But you don't put signs in my yard, so make sure that everybody sees me. And you see how pathetic it is too that he puts this in here. I want to show the hole that I just took this out of. It's barely sitting in here. It's barely in there at all. It's just another tactic that he uses to be a jerk. So I'm gonna throw this back on his property like I've been doing. Don't put stuff in my trees, neither. Okay? You don't put stuff on my trees. And this stuff will be gone once I get a court order over this stuff, because that's my tree too. Okay? So there we are. Now that I've removed his garbage from my property, I can go about doing what I'm here to do. Anything else? Yep, everything else is untouched.
And everything on Mr. Cooney's property remains untouched. No one ever bothers his stuff. His bench has been there for years.
Yeah, I should point that. My wife makes a good point that I should point out that all Mr. Cooney's stuff is always here untouched. No one ever messes with this guy's stuff. That's his fire pit. You can't even see it. Same rocks that I have that he wants to keep throwing into the creek. Juvenile delinquent stuff. And like I said, there's his property. He literally comes up here, doesn't do anything, but put signs in my yard. Okay? And I also point out that still the red X's on my trees that I covered up. No one's come up here. We've heard nothing about that. But we know where that came from. We know exactly where that came from.